Well, hello people, Tooth Infection here. Jokes aside, I thought I would talk about a more serious topic today of James Sapphire. Tooth Infection here is going to be talking about the complete controversies in life, full breakdown of James Sapphire.
He publicly told people to dox me.
Now we're going to break down the life of just who is James Sapphire. James was mentally ill, discombobulated, and a drug addict. But it never started that way. Starting life rough, no dad, and only a mother struggling with meth addiction, sex for money, and mental illness. James was a normal kid growing up somewhat. Despite the living circumstances, he was a popular and good-looking kid. Being as popular and as pretty as Mr. James was called a pretty boy one day. Curious, James decided to search what it meant. When searched, website Looksmaxxing.org popped up with an image of Chico. 14-year-old James at the time posted himself on Looksmax, not expecting the responses. Considering the fact girls did find him attractive already, he continued posting by time, being told the worst delusional things a vulnerable child could ever hear. James was bothered by two different things at once. James was bothered by the absolute attention that he was completely fully sure was true from all the girls that he would receive in school, and even also male validation as well. Whereas, on the other side of things that he was upset about, it was a website telling him the complete opposite of what he was genuinely experiencing. Eventually, James started to believe them, assuming because how much comments he would get. Eventually, from this split life of being told how he's absolutely unlovable to also being told that he's completely perfect, James eventually grew more and more depressed by these opposing arguments. While James was struggling with the site, depression, and himself, a video surfaced on James. A video that left him public enemy number one. After the video was circulated and seen, James completely lost his grips. James lost everything after the video circulated. All his friends, the girls that were in his DMs, and James was seen as easy bait. People bullied him as far as to the extent for having to pay for protection. He would deal with relentless harassment, chase him with bats, take his jewelry, and continue posting him on social medias like Snapchat. He eventually decided to drop out, allegedly claiming to spend his remaining cash on plastic surgery and as well as steroids. He turned to Looksmax to post his utter hatred for his school. James was out of high school, with only a job left as a choice to live, being emancipated at the time, living in low-income housing. He worked a short period at Dollar Tree, and he realized it wasn't his thing and decided to take a leap for social media. He felt he had a musical talent and lore that had potential for social media gain, which wasn't wrong, having plenty of people already into his life online. He chose to capitalize the possible potential. Eventually worked, popularizing Looksmaxxing and also bone smashing at the time. But at this time, all 2022 and 2023 was allegedly claimed to be under the influence of meth, codeine, and cocaine. But this is when James started to really try uploading music again and starting off with the first few songs, and they were not great. One of the songs I can actually claim is Together. It got memed on TikTok.
My girl, she's my wonderful world. Every game she plays in a spark of flame. My girl's wearing those expensive pearls.
Which he also played into for publicity. He would switch up the genre quickly, making hyperpop instead, which actually didn't go too bad, making a complete banger of a song, known as Y2K, being a feature for Party Like 2000's. Also known as PL2K on SoundCloud. He pretty much embraced being a troll, and honestly wasn't doing too bad at this period in social media gain. But James' mental space, on the other hand, started to deteriorate. entering a more emotional side. This is when James popularized bone smashing. And from what I can only guess, James was most likely at his worst with addiction, and most likely mentally as well, mentioning in a podcast he's been diagnosed with serious mental illnesses. While James was deteriorating, he started making more emotional music, and coming off visually more emo. Even though James was doing bad, James had a victory in the midst of the loss, dropping his best song to be created yet, Black Pill Curse. Besides the edgy title, it blew up and even made traction on TikTok. The song eventually having well over 1 million streams during the time period. James was off the chain mentally, posting schizoid posts on Looksmaxxing, and mentioned having repeated spouts of psychosis.
Changing that and trying to fix that. I've been in and out of mental health facilities. I've had to go through like 4 different therapists and psychiatrists and all that stuff, dude. And I have gotten a lot better. I've recovered a lot from any of the drugs, and I'm a lot more coherent and a better person. I mean, I still have trauma and side effects. Like, it's hard to even talk about this, dude. Like, a couple days after my 17th birthday, I was put in a lot of emotional distress, and I'm just gonna be completely honest with you guys. My mom, my biological mother, gave me crystal methamphetamine. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's a stimulant, and yeah, it's like the king of amphetamines. And I went into like pretty severe psychosis. I was like seeing demons and hearing stuff, delusional, and I almost killed myself.
At this point, he would have more and more depression, engulfing him, eventually leading to an overdose of methamphetamines, causing him to stay rehab. James worked with the little money that he made, with food stamps and a $1,200 check he would get for military disability due to the fact his father sadly perished falling from a helicopter when he served. James at this point felt he was at rock bottom, trying to recover from this trauma not only the internet caused, but his mother as well, as she is the person who got him into meth and had him in a mentally deteriorating environment for such a young boy. Eventually, after all of this torment, James left the internet. Or so we thought. The only reason I'm adding this part is because I do consider this controversy for James. As of, James did respond to DC1 for the video that he made, and I'm going to easily break down the complete differences of both videos. And I'm going to start off with Julius, mainly because he was the first person to upload. Julius, the entire video was completely good faith, and that's why I respect Julius for his video, because it was the video that actually taught me about James Sapphire. And then DC1's video. The difference between DC1's video and Julius's video, DC1 came at James Sapphire in the most malicious ways possible. Not even 2 sentences in, you were calling him a poop eater, a urine drinker, and also a racist.
And even eating his own feces and drinking his own urine. Also, James is extremely racist and misogynistic, so any slurs or hateful rhetoric shown in any of the screenshots I've taken of posts James has made, I just want to make clear I do not stand by, and if stuff like this is triggering to you, especially the N-word that seems to be a favorite of James, I would recommend clicking off the video.
Even though you in DM said that you do not see him as these things, you just decided to paint him as that narrative. If that isn't malicious, I don't really know what else is. DC1, at the second of the video, instantly portrayed James Sapphire as his entire life is some massive troll lolcow moment, and you're supposed to sit and laugh at it. You on purposely put things to make James look like a lolcow, and that's why no one is respecting him. It's very malicious for the way you started your video. You started off instantly calling him names and giving him labels like racist, pee drinker, and poop eater. Obviously, those don't seem too crazy, but that's obviously shit you would give a lolcow. And I think it's absolutely malicious the way you're just trying to sit here and say that you're not trying to do anything. It's your fault. You posted everything on it. I was just trying to make a video. You can make a video just like Julius Perceiver and not have to portray him as something so absolutely awful just so you can get clicks out of it. After all of the insane hate and the crazy shit that you've made James go through after your video was uploaded, he had to explain himself to his family members about all of the shit that you said, and in fact had to go into DMs to tell you that, and you still didn't care. The reason why I am calling you malicious is because what you did to create the video was malicious. In your perspective, sitting here and texting a lolcow to try to get some sort of variety on the information of their life story just so you could post a video to make it more malicious, that's malicious. I didn't think I'd have to break down an example of what malicious is, but I guess I can also show you another example of, the thousands of fucking screenshots and videos I have of you sitting here persistently being a cunt in the most malicious way possible to James. And to make it even more grift-worthy, you then uploaded a response to James Sapphire's response to you, and it was the most backhanded thing I've ever watched. That was your entire apology, was being completely backhanded. And in the end, when it was finished, you then deleted it because of how many people sat and completely grilled you in your comment section, including me. Because the second I typed out my massive essay to you, you deleted your fucking video. It's the fact that you know you are being malicious, and you know that this is a lightning bottle of a video, and yet you're still trying so hard to portray yourself as something not malicious. That's why you had to scrape away the response video that you made to James, because you knew that would absolutely ruin the picture of you. And that's why I'm making this video, so I can ruin the picture of you, because you're not a real person. I don't even know a single person in my life that would sit and make a lolcow response video painting the narrative of a fucking child that was 14 that gone through psychosis, drug addiction, a mother that was a prostitute and a porn addict. Like, what is wrong with you? He lost his father, he lost everything, and this was your decision so that you can make a view. It's the fact that I want to make this as small and as easily eatable as possible for you, but what DC1 did was absolutely not small at all. That shit was 5 different foot-long subs. The thing that I respect about Julius Perceiver is the fact that he was open-minded enough to realize that this was a child, 14 years old, making dumb long-term decisions that they never realized was going to affect them for their life. Giving James some advice at the end of the video, and even making the entire video a massive conclusion as to why you shouldn't be doing things that James was doing, and making it very obvious that he was sympathetic to James.